Okay, we're just testing the mics here. I have Matt Vecchio. Sorry, Matt.
You're not the first to not know how to pronounce my name.
Yes.
And you won't be the last.
I've got this thing going where I interview people, but I get their names wrong every time just to test their egos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did I respond?
Yeah, you responded really well. I was impressed with it.
My ego's in check.
Yes. Your attitude is in check.
Good.
Another thing I also do when I bring a guest on is I like to get them to do the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Okay.
So we'll do a quick quiz before we begin.
Great. I'm looking forward to this.
Looking forward to that. Okay, so this is the Attitude Consultant.
Are we actually recording?
We are recording at the moment. I'm just doing the intro. What we might do is we might have a coffee break, and Matt's going to show me your new game, Beautiful Bricks.
That's correct.
I'm going to and play some old school retro video games.
Excellent.
So we're back soon.
Success means to me that you feel content and satisfied in your own life. I mean, I'm a creative person, so I feel success when I can complete a task I set out to do. In previous times, it's been stuff like write some music and record that music and perform that music, or I had a goal a few years ago to do stand-up. I did that and I felt successful after doing that. So I feel success means to me when you set out to do something and you achieve it.
So you're a doer. You're a man of action.
I am.
Matthew.
I'm always doing something. I think when you make mistakes, you learn from them, and I think it's always better to go out there and do it and make those mistakes and learn from it. Because, if you want to write a good song, or you want to write a good joke, or you want to be good at anything, you gotta write 100 bad jokes before you write a good joke.
Yeah.
And that's how you improve. And there's no shame in failure.
Okay. But the problem is there is shame in failure, especially growing up.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of social pressure to succeed. And this is one of the things that was really unfortunate in my life, because growing up, I wasn't good at sport, and I can't swim because of this. I started to learn how to swim, like as everyone does in Australian schools. When you're in year 3, you spend 2 weeks, instead of learning in school, you go into the swimming pool and you're learning how to swim. And you do this every year. Well, the first year I tried to do it, I didn't like it. I wasn't good at it. And I told my Mum, I don't like learning how to swim, it's really bad. And my Mum's like, okay, well, I'll just write a note to the school and you won't have to go and do it. And I was like, great. And so I didn't learn from it. And because of the failure, because it was uncomfortable, because people teased me, I didn't end up learning how to swim. And that was really the wrong thing to do.
Have you had any close encounters where you've got in trouble because of that?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I might be drowning,
Have you been close to drowning before?
I think I've nearly drowned about 4 times, but
Right.
that was even before I started learning how to swim. Like, when I was a baby, I nearly drowned 3 times.
What, in the womb?
No, like I was like 1 or 2 years old.
Oh, yeah.
My mum tells me. And I remember when I was about 4 years old, I was with my dad and my sister, and we went to like Victor Harbour or somewhere, and I remember being on the beach, and I remember just walking straight into the water, and I remember walking underwater, and I didn't...
Yeah.
I just remember walking, I was like thinking, this is really cool. I could just like be underwater. This is like underwater. And I felt no danger or anything. And then my sister got me out of the water, and she was like, you nearly drowned. And then she told off my dad for not watching me. But
Yeah. So is it the fear of water itself?
I think what happened from all those experiences, I get some subconscious aquaphobia.
Yep.
From it. And I know I talked about earlier about, I'm a doer. I just haven't gotten around to, I haven't been interested in swimming. I mean, I can float now, and I do go down to the beach in the summer, but
Sounds like an attitude problem, Matthew. I think you got a bad attitude to water.
I've got a poor attitude to water.
Yeah, I think we need to change that, and we can overcome that fear.
How much is it going to cost me to change my attitude?
Well, at early stages at the moment, it's a low price of free.
Wow.
The only thing I ask is you just don't tell anyone about it. And,
that's usually the opposite of what specials are. They normally have to tell everybody about it.
No, but just keep it yourself. So don't say that you've done the course, and I won't tell anyone that you were a part of it. So we'll have that agreement.
Okay, I'm a guinea pig.
Yeah, you are the guinea pig, but all I want you to do is give me a testimony afterwards to say how it has helped you.
Yeah.
If you're happy with that.
If it does help me.
Yeah, well, I think it is. I think I can help you with that fear of water.
I used to be, say 5 years ago, I was terrified and I would avoid going to the beach and all that. But now I don't mind, and I can at least float and have a bit of fun in there.
That's the most important thing, is to be able to float.
Yeah, I can float.
You can float. Well, you're already half a step there.
But I find the movement, because I'm a bit uncoordinated, and I find the movement when I watch people swim, how you got to move your legs in a way and your arms in a way, and you got to be in sync. I find that hard because I can't see what my body's doing. It's hard to know what you're doing. Yeah.
It was a bit weird because when I learned to walk,
you went to school to do the swimming. You persevered. You know.
Well, I was always self-conscious of looking stupid in front of my mates, which is why I never learned to skateboard or anything like that. You don't want to go through that painful repetition process of learning in front of your mates.
Yeah, and also I think when you're a kid, there's this idea that, he's naturally good at this, and you wanted to be naturally good at things, but half the time you're not naturally good at things.
We don't know all the hours that they've been putting into it behind the scenes.
That's it. And everyone always shrugs off their hours like, man, you know.
I just fucking hop straight on and learn to ride.
Yeah. It was even hard for me to tie up my shoelaces. You know, I was a late bloomer when it comes to tying up shoelaces.
Tying up shoelaces, the old swoop, hoop and pull, or you did the bunny ears thing? Was that how you were taught?
I did the bunny ears, but I think I was in year 5. I was 10 years old.
Oh, okay. So I went to Montessori classes, so I was very early in terms of tying your own shoes.
You got to be in the shoe. Like make a giant shoe and go in the shoe. Some days you were a shoe.
Yeah, I was a shoe. And other times I walked around in other people's shoes. And that's where I get my empathy from.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess it's learning new skills is a lot like having a wank, really. It just takes repetition and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And you're going to get yourself over the line.
Yeah.
An attitude.
And do it and practice when no one's watching.
Because it's embarrassing when you're doing it in front of your mates, isn't it? I know I was speaking to a couple of guys from the who were saying that he'd jerk off in front of his mates. I mean, no one did that.
I've never understood the myth. I don't know if I assume it's a myth where there's a porn and pizza night. You know, with your mates.
Right. I haven't heard this myth.
That people like blokes hang out.
Yeah.
They order pizza and watch porn together.
Right.
Now, if you're watching, are you jerking off as well as you're watching this porn, or is it assumed?
Well, when I actually did watch kind of pornographic SBS style movies. It wasn't your dirty dumpster porn that you'd found in your mate's shed or anything like that. But we'd do that. We would have pizza and we'd watch it, but you wouldn't jerk off. Like, you'd be ostracised.
So you'd be aroused, but in control.
Yeah, you'd be like looking around. Oi, fucking, what's his hands moving, you? Like that.
Yeah. You wanna shame the other people that.
It was strict name shaming policy. Don't jerk off in front of your mates. But you do that. Like, I'd be honest with you, Matt. I did have a little, just rubbed one out, but trying to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
So it was. Well,
I remember when I grew up in a country town called Birdwood.
Yeah.
And you could borrow videos from the Birdwood Pizza Bar. And there was 3 pornos there.
Yeah.
There was The Penetrator, which was the spoof of the Terminator. There was Flint Bones,
yes,
which was, the Flintstones. And there was another one, I can't remember. But I remember when we turned 18, we borrowed these films. I remember Flint Bones. And we did watch the porn as a group.
Yep.
But we were kind of also hang it out. Flint Bones wasn't that erotic, unfortunately.
It wasn't like a game of Soggy Sayo or anything like that.
No, we were going to go on to about Soggy Sayo, actually.
It was a fraternity thing, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit is its other name. You know that?
Yeah. I'm aware that Limp Bizkit named after that.
I've never met anyone that's played it.
No, I haven't either. Like, me and my mates joke about it, but I don't actually think...
I'll crack under the pressure, like...
Oh, mate, well, at the moment I've got functioning issues, so hopefully I'd be stupid to play.
You know the concept. You know
I'm familiar with the concept.
Should we say what the concept is for listeners?
Well, yeah, okay. So for those of you who don't know it, it is when you nut over a biscuit, isn't it?
It's a game. It's a challenge. Basically you gather around in a circle, you put a sayo or a biscuit, any biscuit's fine.
Like a wheat biscuit or something.
And you all attempt to masturbate and you all come onto the biscuit or the sayo, and the person who is the last person to ejaculate onto the biscuit has to eat it.
Yeah.
Has to eat it.
There's
no way around it. Has to. Must.
That's where it kind of comes into the fraternity thing.
Yeah.
It might be an initiation. Did you end up watching Silicon Valley, the HBO series I lent you?
I want to watch it. It's just that the quality is too high for my television to accept.
Really?
It can't read the codec.
Wow. They did this great thing on...
They did Socky Sale.
They did Socky Sale on it, but it was like a class action lawsuit where they used it as a metaphor for that.
Ah, yeah.
It's hilarious. Most things I know about the legal system I learned from Better Call Saul, so...
Yeah. I've been to court once and I cried in court. I was guilty, I cried, and I'm sorry for what I did.
All right, now you're not allowed around schools, is that right?
No, actually, I have that form saying that I'm safe for schools. I got police check.
All right, what's that come in handy for?
Walking near schools.
Walking near
with confidence, knowing that I'm allowed to. I did a kids-related event last week.
Ah, okay, yes.
I was entertaining some kids with some video games.
Yeah. Tell us about your video game, Matt.
Yes, I love retro games.
Yeah.
I love video games, and I've been making my own video game. It's always been a dream of mine.
Yes.
Talk about success, Ellie, and what it means to me.
Yep.
My current goal is to make my own game, which I've nearly finished, and then release it. So at the moment, I'm in the final stages of development. It's a game written in HTML5, which is basically like a web page sort of game.
Yep.
But it's very complex, so it has a lot of functionality in it that most games that you're familiar with will have. It's based on that old Breakout sort of game or Arkanoid. You know, those games where you're that paddle and you've got to hit the ball and break the bricks. And everyone's played that game, but Was
that the game that Steve Jobs fucked over Wozniak and didn't pay him properly? When he was working for Atari?
Yeah, that's the original Breakout on the Atari.
Yeah, okay. Can you actually shame someone that's dead? Is that a bad thing to do?
Yeah, I think technically you can shame them while
you can shame them?
It might be frowned upon.
Is that frowned upon by shaming people that are dead? Even though that they are can you call out someone that's a
I think maybe you don't have to say the word You can just say something they did that wasn't nice.
Yeah, that's it. But
you know.
But he did...
You shouldn't call anyone a really.
No, but Steve Jobs was a very successful person.
He was. With that arrangement... he was a visionary in that scenario. He told Atari that he can do this port. He knew the guy to do it, so he had the vision of completing this project. He just needed to have someone in the engine room making it. And I think Steve Wozniak, he was more of a tinker. He was more of a programmer. He wanted to do that.
Yep.
And I think even he didn't find out that it wasn't 50-50. The deal wasn't 50-50 till like years and years and years later. And it did. Yeah. He did say that it upset him a bit.
For sure.
But I think he was always aware of all that stuff, and he was probably just happy to have the opportunities, like really
to do something. Yeah, for sure.
Like they needed each other, really.
I mean, a lot of that's happening at when people with disabilities are just happy to have a job and work for fucking 50 cents an hour.
Well, I think in a way, people in general are happy to work for someone.
Yeah.
And you know, whenever you're working for somebody, you're not getting paid as much as the business owner.
Yeah.
But you have a different set of responsibilities. You have more security going. I can usually turn up to work every day and know that things are going to be okay and I can go home. And if you're a business owner, you know, the work kind of doesn't stop and you run risk. So it's a risk and reward system. But yeah, my game is based on that. It's got a few cues from pinball as well, because the ball behaviour, instead of just going anywhere, it sort of will have gravity and go towards the player. It's 4 players at once. It has a lot more ball control, a lot more power-ups, and it's still done in a retro style. It looks kind of like a Commodore 64 game.
Yeah, like we were just playing it before. It's killer.
Oh, thanks, killer.
It is killer.
It's got some great music as well, 8-bit sort of graphics. It's called Beautiful Bricks. It used to be called Breaking Bricks, but I changed it to Beautiful.
Yep.
And
you were saying that was for SEO purposes?
That's right. Search engine optimization. A lot of people make this sort of game, and my point of difference is to make this game with a lot more quality, a lot more ball control, slightly different physics, and just more consistent, and also 4 players. It's 4 players at once. But the reason why I had to change the name is because so many people have made this game, or this type of game. When you write in Breaking Bricks, which is what it was formerly called, you would find 101 different games that weren't mine that would come to the top of the pile. And I found that becoming quite a problem.
Yeah.
When you tell people about my game.
Just in the early stages?
Yeah, it was just a bit hard. I would release some YouTube footage of the game, and when you're writing Breaking Bricks, you'd always get people, karate masters, that are like breaking bricks, like, with a karate chop or something.
Yep.
And so it was hurting my marketing strategy at the time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these games, they would talk about, if they're not called Brick Breaker, they might be Brick Smasher, or Break the Bricks, or Brick Destroyer, and they always have these ideas of this destruction. And then I was thinking about subconscious positive reinforcements, which, as an attitude consultant, you might be aware of.
Yes, very familiar with that.
You can take some of these concepts and develop them forwards.
Yep.
I thought maybe if we call something that's call the game a positive thing, subconsciously people will be more attracted to the game because of their positive naming of it.
It does create.
Is there something like that in there?
I saw it as almost a sense of irony. Because it is a very destructive game, and it have that satisfaction of, just breaking the bricks and collecting the coins, and you're getting rewarded from that. But to actually market it as something that isn't destructive is great. I really like that.
What if I just called the game, You Can Do It? I believe in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can have little success quotes that come in after each level and stuff like that.
Yeah, because, I don't know, when I was a kid, I know I'm talking about a lot about being a kid.
Yep.
How good was it when you got a stamp on your work that said, good work, or a sticker, scratch and sniff sticker that said, you're fabulous?
It was so good, even to the point where I would steal the stickers and just self-gratify because I never got it.
Oh, you never got good work?
I never got good work, so it's the point where I got busted doing it, was I stole the teacher's gold foiled stickers. But everyone was getting them. I was never getting good fucking work.
What was the requirements?
The requirements was you just had to complete the tasks.
So when you were a kid, at that point in
my life,
was what success meant to the class was to get a sticker.
Yes.
That's what success
meant.
Yes,
that was success.
So you were unsuccessful.
People fought for those stickers. Like you would actually it was...
People stole those stickers.
People stole those stickers. For me, that was important. Just to say, well done, Rowan, congratulations.
And that's all you wanted?
That's all I wanted. I wasn't getting it from the teacher. I felt bullied. It was horrible. It was a bad point in my life where I would just steal shit just to get people to say that I'm special.
So you were falling behind.
I was falling behind.
You were falling through the cracks of the system.
I was falling through the cracks of the system.
You needed attitude consultant.
I needed.
Or they needed attitude consultant.
They needed an attitude, yeah. And you carry that through.
Yeah, definitely. I had really messy handwriting. I still do.
Yeah.
And I had one teacher, a relief teacher, that used to make fun of how bad my writing was. And I remember one time she was looking over my shoulder and just paying out the way I wrote. She's like, look at your handwriting. Look how bad that is. It's unbelievable. And just really getting worked up in that. It's twisted.
It hurts, doesn't it?
It does hurt.
And you carry that with you into your adult life.
Well, I always feel that I have to apologise for my bad handwriting, and I purposely, if I'm writing notes to myself, I purposely make it as
Fuck off. Let's get a piece of paper right now, and I want you to write with your biggest doctor's handwriting. You can all go and get fucked. We'll do that right now.
I need this.
You need this in your life right now, man. Let's go back to that place.
Okay, you might just need to entertain the audience for a bit.
Okay, I'll tell some jokes or something. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, how do you make... People come up to me and say, hey, tell us a joke. He's got a lot of bloody books here. If you're standing in this room there, it's like a fucking museum here of all the old consoles and all the games, and he's categorised them. Okay, here it is. You've got the paper, all right?
Got the mic as well.
In your worst handwriting ever, maybe you can do it in your opposite hand.
I think I just do it in my natural handwriting.
In your natural handwriting.
Because apparently it's gonna end up bad anyway. So.
Yeah. Just to tell them how much you don't give a shit about it.
So what am I writing? I don't give a shit?
I don't give a shit, you... Let's write that.
Oh, that's harsh words.
Well, let's just go, I don't give a shit.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, in your worst handwriting ever.
All right, my worst. I would just do it in my normal one.
Stop fucking apologising and do it.
Sorry, see how much...
Yeah, this is big.
I don't give a fuck. Don't give a shit.
Look at that. Round of applause. How does that feel, mate?
That feels good.
It feels good, doesn't it?
It felt a little bit intimidating as well because you got a bit angry at me.
But... No. You're actually I could actually see you getting anxious doing it.
Yeah.
You had to really break through from that.
We got to fix this.
When you criticise a child, it impacts them up to their...
I think when you're a kid, anything that happens to you when you're a kid, it's not just twice as bad. It's like times 10.
Yeah.
You remember those experiences.
And how does that feel just now, just to write it down in your worst, sloppiest handwriting?
That I don't give a shit.
And that you don't give a shit. And the fact that it was being critiqued as well. Like I can do a review on that handwriting.
I don't think it's that bad anymore.
No, I mean, and who gives a shit, really?
She didn't know about computers, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not done on a straight line like this.
And the use of capital there is...
The use of the capitalisation, I think your kerning's well out. And that doesn't... Is that an ampersand or is
that's
that...
An A.
That's an at. What is an A? And I think you've put the apostrophe there in the wrong place. It should be...
No, that's right.
No, it should be in between there. So,
I mean,
a bit sloppy work there. The shit and the SEH are a bit too close together. So when you break... So how does that feel, me criticising that? Are you still hurt by that, or...?
I'm pretty good with it.
You're pretty good with it now?
Working in the creative field, I'm used to doing something and then people pulling it apart. I'm not pressured about it. I'm surprised you didn't get me on not drawing a margin.
And you're going to need to put the date in the top right corner as well.
One thing in school that I did have problems with is that I never understood the point of having a margin.
Yeah.
Right? I never understood the point of having a margin. I used to ask in school, why do we have margins? Like, why do we have this bit where you can't write? Why don't we just use the whole paper? So I used to sometimes draw.
Yep.
I used to make up artistic margins. Like, I would have a margin that, like, it would be, like, all squiggly and all, like, ruined.
Yeah.
Because it would be, like, a melted margin, as if, like, it got too hot and, like, melted. Or I have one that was kind of, like, zigzag of, like, it's a zigzag margin. I would make all these custom margins.
That's great.
I used to get in trouble for it, but I was just, like...
Oh, man.
Just trying to make them look cool.
Yeah, you could...
You know?
some people made a lot of money off those templates.
Yeah, I was making some templates in real life. you know.
Yeah, that's fucked, man. That's fucked.
Yeah.
I did comply to the margins, but I'd get the...
Did you ask why?
I never questioned the margins. I just did it because it was easier to do it and just to not have to have the bullshit conversations I didn't want to have. But I did have shading cloths. A little piece of cut-off material, and you draw on it with coloured pencil, and then you just smear it on with your fingers.
Yes,
and it would give that gradient, like...
Yes, I think I do remember.
Yeah. Instead of using just a regular pencil, and you'd have to sit there and you get the pressure was all wrong.
It's kind of like a paint.
Yeah, it was like a paint.
Paint with your finger, but
paint
dry.
with your finger, yeah. So I used to do that with the margins, just to break it up, put a bit of colour.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but
did you ever want to write in red pen? Did you ever get a pen license?
I did get a pen license. I did.
My pen I think I was. You know how every week someone will get their pen license?
Yeah.
I was like the last week of school. You know, because my writing was so bad.
Oh, you poor thing. that actually is a traumatising moment because pen license was so important at that time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids don't even know how to fucking hold a pen.
Yeah.
They're holding it like a dagger or something, yeah. You swipe left. How do I fucking write?
Well, I don't write that often with a pen, but now when I do, I get cramps.
Yeah.
It hurts your finger. It feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know.
What about touch typing? Did you got a touch type? So I never learnt that.
But everybody became good at typing thanks to MSN. Thanks to writing, like messaging and talking to people online.
An ICQ.
Yeah, ICQ. I've always been good. I've always used a lot of computers, so that sort of just happened naturally.
Yeah, so how old are you? Sorry if you don't mind me asking.
32.
I mean, I didn't really use a computer until later. I think I was about 19 or 20.
I was like 4 when I first used the computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see. I can't tell. I'm
64 and...
I'm a two-finger typer, mate.
Still?
Still. I'm all right. I don't even know my way around a QWERTY keyboard.
You got to go... you and your girlfriend need to enter a long-distance relationship.
Right.
And then only talk through messaging.
Well, it's funny. That's how we actually started. She met me on Facebook. But then we were just like randomly chatting and stuff like that. And then I think I told her that I wanted to invite her over, take a shit on her chest, drink goon and eat chicken nuggets and watch the Goonies.
And she loved the idea.
Well, that obviously didn't happen. Well, not obvious, but no. It was the litmus test. Like it was just throwing out this inappropriateness, trying to get a response.
And it worked.
We're still together 7 years later.
That strategy you probably tried with so many other people and they didn't buy it. That was meant to be.
It was meant to be. That photo of me taking a shit on the toilet was my profile picture, and she added me from that photograph. It was just so inappropriate.
And she likes inappropriateness.
Yeah,
she gravitates towards inappropriateness.
Well, in this moment, she did. Anyway, that's
a story of success.
It's a story of success. That same photograph, ironically enough, the advertising were looking for a graphic designer on Seek.
Yeah.
And I was reaching a point where I was just fed up with job rejections, didn't even get an interview. And I sent them a picture of that photograph of me on the toilet. And they said, you're probably not even going to read this cover letter. Check out my shit at rowanharry.com. And I got shortlisted to 5 applicants. From about 60 to 100, that applied.
You changed your attitude.
I changed my attitude. They did gravitate towards that because it was like, you obviously don't give a fuck.
I think you were more real.
It was, yeah. It was just that they could see how fed up I was with the application. It was like just...
Oh, it sucks.
Oh, and that's
you feel like... I do feel that when you're applying for jobs and stuff, you often feel like, man, if they could just meet me...
Yeah.
And if I could be real to them and they can be real to me, then we can get things done. But there's so many screening processes. You got to feel like you got to be someone else just to get to that point to be yourself.
Yeah. You are doing your sound stuff. And that's like you're bringing in your income from that.
Yeah, I work as a sound engineer.
Yeah.
And I do a bit of music producing. But I've been doing a lot of interactive video game displaying of things as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm also a student and studying computer programming and stuff. So I'm sort of doing that officially as well.
So how do you find managing all of that and then just doing, like you just, I guess, want to be funded and make your game? Am I right?
I would like to either work making games or being a full stack developer, which is someone that does everything to do with websites and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do have a bit of a history I've got music background. I've also got a lot of graphic design background because I made a lot of Music Geek posters.
Yep.
So I have a good understanding of design as well and the sound. So I've got a good multimedia understanding. And so full stack development kind of falls into that. With the game developing thing, there's a lot of people that indie game developers that companies that are coming out, and even the government in South Australia has actually launched like a $1.5 million slush fund for grants.
That's good news for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about are you leveraging the business side of you? Are you doing the Steve Jobs and the Wozniak?
I would rather just do the programming and designing on the hood. I've learned from my previous business ventures that I don't enjoy doing a lot of the business stuff. I don't enjoy the fake networking. I like to be genuine.
Maybe that could be a job for the attitude consultant.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Would you be interested in me taking the reins on that side of things?
Well,
do you want me to open up some doors for you?
We can definitely talk about it afterwards.
No worries.
I don't want to commit to anything
that's
on a podcast. You know?
I do apologise for it. I kind of feel it's like a proposal with...
Is this a job interview? A lot of the game development is all centred around one program called Unity. If you want to get a job, you've got to be good at this program called Unity.
I see that on Xbox Live games that I play.
I don't want to be good at Unity.
Why not?
Because coming from an audio background, there's this program called Pro Tools.
Yes.
Right? And 80% of the industry runs off, that 80% is off the top of my head. Majority of the industry runs off this program called Pro Tools. Yeah. And it's expensive, and with the audio stuff, I'm locked into Pro Tools because I'm quick at it now. I've used it for 10 years. If I go to another door, I'm slow and not as efficient. And it's super expensive, and I feel like I'm a slave to Pro Tools. It's like if you're a graphic artist, you'll feel that you're a slave to Adobe with the Photoshop and the InDesign, etc. Yep. With Unity, it's the same sort of thing. You're a slave to this program that, if your game becomes a hit, then you've got to start paying licensing and all this stuff. Everything's geared towards how they're going to get their piece of cake.
Yep.
If I make a hit game or application, I can't ever release the source code, which is, the how I did it to the public, which I think is something that ethically is important, that if you make a hit game, it's very innovative. You want to be able to, others to be able to learn from your code and everyone to sort of develop from that. And you can't do that if you are slaved into a different engine, like something like Unity. I think it definitely helps people out, and I can understand why people are using this engine because it makes things a lot easier and it definitely gets results. But
what if it was the difference between where you are now and being a multi-millionaire? Would you do that?
Well, I think if I want to get a job in the current climate, I could either be totally independent and try to make a hit and succeed that way, or I could have less risk and work for somebody and go with the Unity thing. I'm going to make my next game in Unity because it's on the safe side.
This question is the whole reason why I introduced you to Silicon Valley, because the main central character is you. It's your life. Like, he's just developed this groundbreaking algorithm that's going to change the world, right? Use that as your game. Okay, this is your game.
So you were trying to change my attitude.
I was trying to change your attitude.
And this is the callback to test that I've done it and I haven't done it.
You're at the early stages of something that's exciting, and you know it's going to work, and you know it.
Yeah.
And you believe in it.
Yeah.
The question is, which path are you going to take?
Which pill?
Are you going to take? Yeah, exactly. You're going to take the red pill, or you're going to take the blue pill. It's exciting.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be easy. No matter what you take, it's going to be fucking hard.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's been hard to even get to this point.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 years that I've been developing it, but it took about 3 or 4 years to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And also, I've been playing games since I was 4 years old, so there's a lot of knowledge and experience that's been built up over that time. But yeah, it's definitely, all that stuff is a school of hard knocks.
Yeah, and you know, when you're sitting on something that's totally brilliant, you know that you're going to attract fucking seagulls are going to come in and try and get their chips. Yeah. You're going to get all this fakeness. You're going to get people trying to sue you for your IP. Yeah. You're going to get all of that shit. But it's fucking worth it.
Yeah. It is?
It is. Because, I mean, the worst thing is...
That's the worst. You know, when you put it like that, the worst isn't really that bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm going through shit at the moment, I might lose my house, and...
The house thing is like that dream of how everyone owns a house. That's something that gets very questioned by our generations and stuff. Because, you know, especially the affordability of them, you spend 30, 40 years paying them off, and then you die, and then your kids or whoever you leave it on to, they might just sell it and do something. it or waste it. Or, you know, when you die, you can't take your money with you. I think some ways it's better to care about the people around you. Would you rather die a millionaire and have no one at your funeral, or die not being a millionaire but move a lot of people, get 500 people to that funeral and talk, and they can talk about the influence they've had on your life? You'd much rather immortalise yourself by your influence than by being remembered for being a frugal, money-rich person that wasn't very nice to people, you know?
Yeah, you don't want that. Oh, yeah, I guess it's about what your legacy is going to be.
What success means to you.
And what success means to you.
That's right.
And at the moment, you've got a very successful video game, which I know is going to be a hit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to actually get it out there.
Yeah, so how do you plan to distribute?
So at the moment, I'm working on getting it released on Steam, and Steam is the main platform for desktop computers or laptop, like PCs and Macs and Linux sort of computers, not the iPhone sort of or iOS sort of system. So that's the first release, and I've been saying in my head in April.
Yes.
And hopefully I can get it out in April, which will make it a 2-year cycle of development. And then I plan to make a mobile phone port to it. And then if the game is really popular, there will be a expansion pack, which will be you can make your own levels. Yeah. That's what I'm giving people, that you can make your own levels and content. And then work on a new game, move on. You know, I've got a lot of ideas, so it's like I want to give birth to other games.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And what about in terms of security?
I have made it as a couch co-op and a game that it's a bit old school, so it's a bit more like your version is your version, and the idea of security doesn't really come into a question then.
Yeah.
The security system that's in the app stores and also in something like Steam is sufficient enough.
Fantastic.
And I guess the main security issue for a program like mine would be piracy. And maybe piracy is like the lowest form of flattery, because people, if you think about it, like if you're a startup, like if it's your first game or early game in development and everybody does pirate it, then you know, okay, there's obviously a big demand for my game. I just need to find a way, the next production I make, I just have to find a way to maybe control that and turn more of those people that did pirate it into getting a sale from them. Maybe there was something wrong with my pricing. Maybe they just couldn't work out how. It was easier to pirate. Some programs are easier to pirate than to buy. So don't see it as that you've failed by pirating it. It's more like, look at why, and then you can learn from that input. And
I mean, if you're getting something on Steam and you're making sales, I guess you're making money while you sleep.
Yeah. You get taxed a lot.
Okay. So to get on Steam, there's an application process?
Yes.
You have to approve it?
Yeah, it's called Steamworks. Is what you get the back end way into managing the Steam store is called Steamworks.
Right.
And this is the new process. Before that, it was a green light process, and the community had to vote for your game. And if you get enough votes, your game will be green lit, and then it will be able to go on Steam. So the process on Steamworks now is that anyone can submit a game. Mm-hmm. It costs $100 per game to do the submission. You need to prove that it is your creative content, and you need to fill out tax information with the American government. There's ways that you can get less taxed. At the moment, I get taxed 30% because I need to prove I don't understand it yet. I've got to understand it. There's a way to get that sort of down. And you talk with Steam. When you get your game working through the Steam platform, you've got to change your code a little bit to make it sort of conform to their standards. Yep. They will play it, and then they will recommend a price, and then you can agree to that, and then you, after some processes, you launch it. That's all I know at this stage. I think Steam would also take a cut from it.
Yeah,
as
I can
well.
imagine. Yeah.
You know, same with all those app stores on your Android phone or your Apple phone.
Yeah.
You know, the money is often in the distribution.
Yes.
They're the ones that always...
Well, you can make money off free games, yeah?
Yep, for having ads in them.
Okay.
So you put ads in them, or there's really you can either buy a game and set the price quite high and you make money from the initial sale. There's microtransactions, which is, you might download the game for free, but you might want to update a little thing in there or buy that currency in the game. They're called microtransactions. Or there's advertisements that pop into your game, and that's how you make money. I like the original one, where you just buy a complete game, a complete product, and that's it. One-time purchase. I think as a gamer, someone playing a game, you know what you're getting into and you have a good sense of ownership. You've bought the complete game. The microtransactions, I don't like that much because it promotes kind of an elitism kind of
idea. What about the demo and you get... the
shareware demo. Yeah, the shareware, which was popular in the 90s with computer software, was always a third of the game. You get a third of the game for free, and you can give that to anybody. If you want the rest of the game, you pay money. And the shareware system never went through retail often, or it did near the end, but initially it wasn't through any retail providers. So it really cut out the middleman. So people that were doing shareware and people were registering didn't have to deal with, the store taking their cut. So it was a better way to the direct profits. The idea of a demo is a lot less percentage of the game than 1/3 that shareware had. So that's the difference between shareware and demo. A demo is just maybe like 5% or 1% or just the first level. A trial was usually you get most of the functionality of the program or the game. So you might have the whole game, but you might only have it for 2 weeks, or you might have annoying pop-up.
So you know all this, mate. You're fucking researching all this stuff. Don't say you don't know the business side of it.
It's only from being a user. You didn't know that.
Well, these are all stuff that I'm familiar with, but, I don't know the terminology and how you can apply that to your product.
I know business stuff. I know the numbers and how to... I just don't like dealing with... I just don't find it very fun to deal with people and to do all that stuff. I'd rather be creative and just focus on...
Yeah, well, you did the Myers-Briggs personality test before, and you did find out that you were a campaigner. You were an extrovert.
Yes. So what?
I think you're full of shit, mate. You love people. You're a people person.
I do like people.
Yeah, you're a networker, man. I've seen you go to all those marketing events. I've seen you hang out. Yeah.
I've seen you there as well.
Yeah. You love it.
I've seen your booth there.
Yeah.
Attitude consultant booth.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to say hi, but the line is just so long. I can't get there.
Yeah. I don't believe you, mate. You love that shit.
I like it, but I also like to, rather than buy a beer in a pub and talk to a mate or whatever, I would rather buy a music CD, because you get the music CD forever and listen to that.
Yeah, but you can't drink it. You're off the booze now, aren't you?
Well, I've always been off the booze.
Off the booze. Oh.
I bought 2 guitars once. Yes. In 2007. It was like I spent $2,000 or something, and I was like, I could not drink alcohol, and before you know it, I could buy another guitar.
Yep.
With the money I've saved, with not buying alcohol.
Smart.
And that became a winning formula.
Which is why your house looks like a fucking video game museum with old consoles and games and...
Yeah. With the alcohol, you go to town with the expectation that you're going to have a good time, or you're going to achieve this objective, and when you're younger, or sometimes when you're older, you want to meet somebody or, do this or do that. And half the time, it doesn't go to plan, and then throwing up.
Yeah, and you get your phone out and you got to ring up all your mates and apologise.
Yeah, basically. And, so it was just kind of like... Why go there? Well, I should have the foresight to know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah. So you didn't drink last night?
No.
Just watched the show?
I was, I finished work.
Yeah.
And I finished work at I got out at 10. And then I met up with Marjorie, and then Marjorie said, I think Ross is at the Cranker. And then I went to the Crankers. I only saw the last 3 comedians.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't even know the attitude consultant was consulting that night. So... I didn't know it was a seminar. I liked. Do you know Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
You know how one of his early songs, in that video clip, and he just holds up the posters.
Yeah. Yep. The signs. Yeah.
What song is that?
Oh man, I'll fucking Google that.
Oh, we don't need to Google it. But Did that inspire you for your...
Yes, I was inspired by Bob Dylan for that particular one.
Yeah.
A lot of it was my Instagram posts. Like I was using that.
So that was like a collection of your...
It was a collection of my greatest Instagram posts. I started doing that with the weekly podcasts because I'm trying to churn it out each week.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not just use my social media as content?
Save some time.
So I was writing and marketing at the same time.
Genius. I think a lot of the time, now that we live in this social media thing where we release something, still a lot of people haven't seen them. So you can regurgitate them.
Yeah.
And they're still fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
But if people get all uptight about that, no, it's got to be something different. It's like, well, who the fuck are you? No one cares.
How many comedians use the same material over and over again?
Doing this podcast thing, I think I've written more material in 2 weeks than I did in 2 years.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not trying to find out, well, how many people like that? What kind of response to get that? Did you see my set last night? What did you think of that? I'm just putting it out.
And also, I think if you're just doing it in those comedy clubs and it's all locally in the same area, you don't even get a good sample audience.
No.
You know?
But I always support the local clubs. I always support the...
Oh, they need to be there. And they need to be supported, but they're just one slice of the pie.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're not the...
and you want to eat all the pie.
I want to eat, Well, I just don't want to eat crumbs, you know.
If you want to live off pie, you've got to eat...
You've got to eat the entire pie.
But your doctor will warn you.
Yeah.
If he goes, look, your doctor will say, hey, if you continue eating
too
much pie, this is going to happen. Here's some things to reverse that.
So success in moderation is what you're saying.
Just see a doctor. Before you become... consult a doctor.
Consult a doctor. Yeah.
Consult. I'm trying to find a few words like this. Consult. We need maybe three C's. Conceive.
Consult, conceive, and
believe. Believe, consult, conceive.
I thought we were going for the 3 C's.
Yeah, and believe is not as... Yeah, I can see what I did wrong.
I can see that. There was a funny joke there. Consult. Construct. Yeah, consult, conceive, consult, and then construct. That's
pretty good.
That's the 3-tier process right there.
Yeah, the big C.
Yeah, the big C. Conceive, consult, construct. And that's how you build your product.
Well, now you're selling it to me.
Yeah, but it has to be on the foundation of attitude. And you could break it down to that simple. People love it when you break something down into a little simple package. And they'll sit around and go, we're so fucking stupid. We just need a simple answer and also, yeah, woo, all right, yeah.
But I think what a lot of successful, what are these positive speakers called? What are they called?
Life coaches.
Life coaches and all these sort of seminars. People get entertained by these sort of successful, these diagrams and stuff like that. It's like a form of entertainment. They like the instant buzz you get from someone saying, your life can be great.
Yeah.
You've got to change your mind.
Yeah, man.
You know, the reason why I'm rich is because when I was pouring down and out, I visualized having money. And you know what? I got money. People like, that's an exciting story. People like the emotions that come off of that. People that are really into self-help, often they don't do anything, but they like that instant buzz.
And I'm actually writing these little pyramids and stuff.
Do people know about the knee scheme? Do your listeners know about the knee scheme?
No, they don't. That is news. Yeah,
are you going to talk about it?
Well, why not? Yeah, bring it up. I did get accepted for NEAS, which is the National Enterprise Incentive Scheme. It's a government incentive. So that gave me 9 months runway to get my business off the ground.
You were selected by the government.
I was selected by a panel that read my job plan. So I went off the grid for 5 weeks, went off social medias.
Focus on the application.
And just focused on my application of...
You conceived, you constructed, and that was the consulting. You consulted.
I went through this 3 C's process. And so that's basically it. The podcast comes into it. I've got the Miley Lounge as well. So I've had a couple of people come into the little studio. Is
Miley Cyrus an attitude consultant in sync?
Yeah. The whole Miley thing was like when I was going through my stage of applying for jobs of pictures of me taking a shit. Like I was just fed up, and I just did a little bit of a joke. Just started listening to Miley Cyrus because I reached that point Similar to you with your swimming, right?
Yeah.
Where you didn't want to get criticised for your swimming. I didn't want to get criticised when people asked me what music I listened to. I didn't have an answer.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to be judged by my music taste.
Especially when Spotify and came out and stuff. It's, what are you listening to?
Fucking Miley. I'm going to listen to Miley. And I did, and I listened to her whole catalogue.
So Miley represents freedom.
Yeah.
Individuality.
Yes. Well, when I was in rehab, when I was in a wheelchair and I couldn't walk, so I had to learn to walk again. It was at that stage when she did her VMA presentation.
That's the twerk?
The twerking thing where she just, at the music awards, where she just totally shocked people.
Yeah, she wanted to break free from how people perceived who she was.
Yeah.
And other stars have done it. Britney Spears shaved off her head.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of, they often artists, they want to break from the past and a fresh, clean look.
Yeah. And it did. It struck a chord for me.
Wow.
And so
it probably struck a chord for a lot of people.
Yeah, it did. And I just thought, well, let's tap into that. Let's become a
like
smiler.
When Justin Bieber cut his hair. It would have been the same thing. I'm not a Bieber fan, but...
No, you're not a believer?
I'm not whatever they used to call that to build their fan base. What time is it?
It's 3:45.
Got to wrap this up.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
It's been fun. It's been
it's been great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for chatting about your game. And
I barely talked about it, but that's...
No, that's my fault.
We've got to talk about other things. It's okay.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. So I do apologise for that. I have made it a bit about myself and that kind of thing.
That could be your thing, that every time you go to attitude consult people, you just talk about yourself and then people end up helping your problems.
That's pretty funny, actually. That's pretty funny. This is the good thing about it, is I actually had no formula to doing any of these podcasts. I started as quick little 5-minute snippets. But once you start getting other people's influences and you start talking to them, you develop your own little cookie cutting style.
Yeah.
Like your little templates there.
I think you should come up with a few of these diagrams.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And then teach them, put them on whiteboards and stuff.
I think they work well.
Yeah,
but people do love them.
They love that sort of shit, don't they?
They love them, yeah. I mean, one of my favourite ones is TEAM. Do you know what TEAM stands for?
No, tell me.
Together, everyone achieves more.
Oh, of course they do, yeah. Acronyms. Need to do that.
Yeah.
Like just inappropriate
How can
words.
you call yourself an attitude consultant and you got no acronyms? That's the language that you got to use. That's your product.
Yeah. Well, I really like the 3 C's with the conceive, construct.
And you can tie that together as like, if you want to achieve something, you've got to see it.
People love puns. Puns sell.
Puns sell. Slogans sell.
Slogans, puns.
If our country has anything to go by and who's in power, slogans sell. You got to see it. You got to see it to the end. The 3 C's.
Anyway,
you should spell success with 3 C's. You write success over the top, and then you do cross-cut. the 3 C's in success. You scroll down and you write what they are. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, no, thanks. This is we've dribbled a lot of shit.
I think there's some gold in there to be found, some rough diamonds.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. You got to dig through the
crap.
Dig through the mud.
That's what life is about.
Finding those diamonds in the rough. You're going to find the specifics in the broad shit.
Yeah, it's like going to the dump and another man's trash is another man's treasure, and you've got to find the treasure in your trash.
And a lot of people throw shit at you, and you're in an exciting venture. But what you got to do is you just got to be like water off a duck's back.
Yeah, and also once you become successful, people throw even more shit at you.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, he's not really that. What he's famous for? He's really shit.
And a lot of tech bloggers are going to totally rip to shreds your product. Are you prepared for that?
I'm ready for the bad Steam reviews.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of people aren't. They're not emotionally equipped to deal with that, and I think you are.
Yeah, I've done some show. I think I'm a 2-star director. I directed a play. I got 2 stars. So
you learned pretty early.
I got a 1.5 star for something else as well.
Yeah.
So I've had some bad stuff. I think at the end of the day, you have to take criticism on, but also you have to listen to the person inside yourself. And if you believe it in yourself, it's fine. Like I even think, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Room.
Yes, I have seen The Room. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I actually don't. I actually understand why Tommy Wiseau thinks it's great.
Yeah.
And I actually, when people like really pay it down, so that film is awful, I stick up for a little bit because it was meant to be a play, and it's the guy just didn't have any quality control. Didn't have anyone. He just took too much on for himself. Just
Yep.
Because it really, the reason why they use the same 5 locations is because it's written as a play. And so I understand that the point is that even despite all the bad reviews and it's a mockery of it, and it is hilarious to watch, you can also see how Wiseau sees it, and that his self-belief in it is what made the whole product possible.
And what made it so beautiful was all the drama and everything that was happening behind the cameras when the cameras weren't rolling.
Yeah, it's those little details that we take for granted that make, I think, works of art seem genuine.
Yeah, authenticity is important.
Yeah.
It's what it's all about.
Success means to me authenticity. I can't say the word though.
Yeah. Start again. What does success mean to you?
I can't say the word authenticity.
Well, that's okay. You can try.
Okay. Success means to me authenticity.
And we'll try it again. Authenticity.
Authenticity.
No. Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Okay, try it again.
Being genuine. Can't I just... Success means to me being genuine. Keeping it real.
Keeping it real, motherfuckers. Thanks, man.
How long do we talk for? 2 hours?
Energy Consultant is produced by Ryan Harry and distributed by the Artscast Network.